public life at such an early age can be a very baffling thing. It was actually terrifying. It was wonderful to be a beauty title holder, to suddenly become a household name overnight, to suddenly be in films, to be working with Salman Khan, to be doing shows with Aamir Khan. It's a big deal. It actually took me away from my core. I felt a great amount of disillusionment at a certain point. I think it was in my mid-20s. I was like, yaar, कपड़े खरीद लिए, गहने खरीद लिए, मेकअप खरीद लिया, घर खरीद लिया, सब कुछ मिल गया, लेकिन अभी भी एक अंदर से एक, there's this emptiness. What is it that I want to do that will really make me happy? And I'm not saying this in a philosophical way at all. I love being in front of the camera. I love the process of cinema. But you need to live, because that's the only way you can feel alive. It's a mystical law that when you give happiness, you get happiness. When you give peace, you get peace. When you do good, you feel good. And those were really the guiding foundation of my upbringing. And I was brought up with the understanding that as an individual, you are a change maker. Every voice counts, every opinion counts. And I started getting drawn towards social participation, started getting invited. I remember Shabana Azmi called me for the Anna Hazare movement. I felt very alive when I went for that rally to Azad Maidan, because I understood why it was happening. We wanted a corruption-free India. It wasn't about just going there for a photo opportunity. It was something that I really wanted, that I knew I had dealt with, and that participation and just being able to give something you care for voice, that made me feel very alive. It's not just a title, it's a job. It entails a serious commitment. It's a lifelong commitment, because you don't get appointed as UN Environment Goodwill Ambassador for 1 year. It's an appointment that sticks for life, and it's really up to the individual what they want to make of it. I'll tell you why I have chosen environment. Of course, it's I've been a kid who's been raised in an environment that helped me understand that I am a part of nature and not apart from nature. That my well-being is rooted in the well-being of nature. And I love children. And nothing bothers me more than the fact that environmental degradation and climate change is impacting the health of children right now, every day. So it's not a thought in the future, it's an active reality that we face today, every day. There are very few people who understand the umbilical link between ecology and economy. And I think that that's really my primary effort, to bring to people's consciousness the link between ecology and economy, and the fact that environmentalism is not obstructive. It is in fact necessary for true development and true progress and growth. So the conversation now that is taking precedence, not just in India but the world over, is the need to address our idea of progress. So is the idea of urbanization true progress, or is the need to provide the basics of life, which is health? India has always had this slogan that has been carried forward for the last 70 years, Roti, Kapda, Makan. But the basic securities of life are not that. The basic security of life is access to natural resources. So you must have clean air to breathe first. That's your fundamental right to live. Clean water to drink. Clean food to eat. If we don't have that, what do we do with the kapda and the makan? I always open my talks with a basic statistic, that we occupy a certain landmass of this planet, which accounts to about 7%, right? And we are the second largest population on this planet. And less than 5% is reserved, secured for forests that feed our rivers. So if we don't protect our forests and our biodiversity and our wildlife that sustains these forests, where are we going to get our water from? How is this second largest population on this planet going to survive if they don't have the basic need of life, which is water? Like, I always wonder, where are our priorities? These so-called custodians of culture who are obstructing the release of a film, who are, calling for the bounty of the head of a leading lady, leading actress in our country, walking free. There's no criminal case registered against these individuals. And I think that if only these voices were used to demand clean air, to demand clean water, to demand better waste management systems, to call for the ban of plastics, we would just be a healthier country, and we would actually be able to do so much more for our progress. Because unfortunately in India, the perception of social change or social good is really diluted by an adjective which I hate, called charity. There is no such thing as charity. Because when you help somebody else, you're actually helping yourself. It's a very selfish process. But many people have kept... See, signing a check is not social good. Of course, it's wonderful. It's benevolent. I'm not undermining that. But I'm saying that we need to do more than just sign checks. And when we think about activism and active voices, within our industry, there are very few that come to mind. Nargis Dutt, Sunil Dutt, Amitabh Bachchan, Shabana Azmi, Javed Akhtar Saab, who used their drama, who used their theatre, who used their cinema to contribute to social change. And I see that happening now in the younger generation. It makes me so happy when I see Alia launch Coexist, or I see Varun talking about the smog in Delhi, or I see Akshay Kumar making the cinematic choices that he's making. Would you have imagined like 10 years ago Akshay making Toilet Ek Prem Katha? You wouldn't, but he is, and I think it's so wonderful. I am permanently unsatisfied because I think my pursuit in life is to grow, and every time I feel too comfortable about anything, I feel like I'm not doing enough to push the envelope, to evolve, to experience. So my mom just told me this year, in the beginning of the year, New Year's, she always writes me this wonderful message at the beginning of the year, and she said it's just the beginning. And I really feel like it's just the beginning. Like, everything so far was probably like a stepping stone or a foundation of sorts to get me closer to understanding my identity, to understanding my purpose. But the good news is that I feel so much more comfortable with who I am than I've possibly ever been. I have a better sense of knowing what makes me truly happy. I have a better understanding of life and what I want of it and from it and what I can give it. And that's so wonderful.